So welcome to the lecture series in control systems. In this lecture, we are going to study the concept of control systems and the terminology related to the control systems. Later, we are going to classify the control systems into two types, that is open loop control system and closed loop control system. Okay, so every activity in our day-to-day life is being influenced by some sort of control system. The concept of control system plays an important role in the working of space vehicles, satellites, and missile guiding systems. Okay, such control systems are also being an integral part of modern industrialization, many industrial processes, and also we use the control system in many home appliances like air conditioner, water heating system, or even a simple automatic iron box will use the concept of control system. So control systems are found in many practical applications like transportation system, means automobiles also use the control system, or in power systems, or in robotics also we use the concept of control systems. Okay, so the control systems may also be classified as socio-economic systems, control systems, or biological control systems, or electrical control systems, mechanical control systems. Okay, so as an engineer, our objective is to get familiar with the analysis and design of such control systems. So here we are going to concentrate only on the physical systems, not on biological or socio-economic systems. Okay, so we concentrate on the physical systems, the analysis and design of physical systems which follow some physical laws. Okay, so now let us start defining what is a control system. So a system is a combination or arrangement of different physical components which act together as an entire unit to achieve certain objective. Okay, a system can be considered to be a connection of some physical components which act together in order to produce some objective or some desired output or some task. It is going to do some task. We call it as a system. Okay, so in order to produce some response, we have to apply some excitation. So to the given excitation, the system will react and produce some response. So the excitation which you apply to the system in order to produce a response, we call it as input to the system. The actual output or the actual response which is produced by the system is called as the output of the system. So as a block diagram, you can show a system with a block. A system may also be called as a process or plant. Okay, a system may also be called as a process or plant to which there is some input or excitation and it will produce some output, that is nothing but the response to the given input. Okay, now let us see an example in order to understand the system. So the simple example I have considered in order to understand a system is a fan. So here the fan is the system to which you give a input of 230 volts AC supply of frequency 50 Hz. To the given input, the system will react, that is the fan will react and produce an output which is nothing but the airflow. Okay, so to the given applied supply, it will produce some amount of airflow which depends upon the speed of rotation of the fan. Okay, the more speed with which it rotates, the more airflow you will get. Now if you observe the output of a system, this is the output of the system, which is nothing but the airflow. Since the input is fixed at 230 volts, the speed with which the fan rotates is also fixed. So the speed with which this fan rotates also fixed, means the amount of airflow is also fixed. So for this type of system, you don't have the control over the output, means you are not able to control the amount of airflow. That is, you are not able to either increase the airflow or decrease the airflow. Okay, so here you don't have the control over the output of a system. So how we are able to control the output of a system? So how to control the output? You have to change the input according to your requirement. So for example, if you apply a voltage of 230 volts to the input of windings of the motor inside the fan, let the fan rotate with designed in such a way that it is going to rotate at a speed of 5. Number 5 is very high speed. So in order to decrease the speed, you have to decrease the input. So for example, you have given a voltage of 220 volts. So then the output of the fan, means the airflow, will get reduced by some amount. Let that speed be represented as number 4. Okay. So as you change the input voltage, the speed decrease the input voltage, the speed also gets decreased, means the amount of airflow also gets reduced. So in order to control the output, that is the amount of airflow, you have to change the input. Okay, so instead of giving the direct input to the system, if you apply a input which is changed, modified input, means like 220 volts or 220 volts according to your requirements, then you will be able to control the output of a system. Okay, so instead of giving a direct input to this system, if you are giving a manipulated input, modified input, depending on your requirement, then you will be able to control the output. Means the output which you obtain from this system will be controlled output. Okay, so instead of giving the direct input to the system, if you give a manipulated input, you will be able to control the output of a system. So how to give this how to give this manipulated output for a given system? So we give this manipulated output with the help of a controller. So depending on the requirement or the command given by you, the controller will follow and produce an output. It will produce an output such a way that it will follow our command. Okay, so we give a command to the controller. The controller will act to your command and it will produce a manipulated input to the system such a way that the output will follow your command. Now you are able to control the output of the system according to your command. We call such systems as control systems. So whenever you are able to control the output of a system by applying some command, we call it as a control system. So a control system consists of two blocks. One is the controller, which follow your command and generate an output, and that output is nothing but the manipulated input to the system. To the manipulated input, the system will react and produce an output which is desired, means which is needed by you, means according to your command it will work, means you are able to control the output of a system. So it consists of two blocks. One is the controller, which commands the system, and the system. So a controller along with the system, by which you are able to control the output of the system according to your requirements, we call it as a control system. So we can define a control to be a mean to regulate, direct or command a system so that the desired objective is being attained. Okay, so control is nothing but a command given to a system in order to obtain a desired output from the system. So a controller along with a system will form a control system. So a system along with a controller will form the control system. So a control system now can be defined as it is an arrangement of different physical elements connected in such a manner so as to regulate, direct or command itself or some other system. So you are able to control the output of a system, then you will be call that system to be a control system. So it consists of two blocks. One is the controller, the other is the process or plant or system. So instead of giving the direct input to the system, we give a manipulated input to the system or processed input to the system. To the processed input, the system will react and produce an output. The output which is being produced here is the desired output, means the output which you require, or the output will act according to your command. So the command you apply to a controller, the controller will follow your command and produce an output. We call it as controller output, which is the input to the process. The input to the process is nothing but the manipulated input. Accordingly, you will get the desired output. So we can call this as command, or you can call this as reference input. Means, or you may also call the desired process response. So what output you want, you will apply it as a command to the controller. So what is your desired output you want from the system, you apply it as a command to the controller. The controller will follow your command and it will produce an output which acts as an input to the system or process. So such a way that the reaction of the system to this input will produce an output which is desired, means which is according to your command. So we call this as a control system. So these are the terminologies inside this control system: command or reference input or desired process response. A controller, the output of a controller is controlled output or manipulated input to the system or processed input to the system, and the output of the system is nothing but the desired output. Okay, so this is the simple block diagram of the control system. Now we will try to understand more with the help of a example. So for simplicity, I have considered the same example, that is fan, in order to understand the control system. So you can also convert this simple fan, that is nothing but a system, to a control system by the addition of the controller. Here the controller for the system is nothing but the regulator. So a regulator along with fan may be considered to be a control system. So here the regulator will act like a controller, and the fan is the system. So regulator is the controller and fan is the system. So the output of the regulator will be such a way that you are going to get the desired output from the system, and you give the command to the controller. So the controller will have the complete knowledge about the system parameters, and it will produce the output such a way that the reaction of the system to the controller output will be according to your command, means it will follow the command. So for example, I have given a command to the regulator to rotate at a speed of number 4. So I apply the command to be number 4. So when I apply this command to the controller, it will produce an voltage such a way that the fan will rotate at the speed of 4. So as I have considered, if you give a voltage of 220 volts, while design I have considered, when you apply a voltage of 220 volts, the fan will rotate at a speed of number 4. If I give a 230 volts supply, the fan will rotate at a speed of number 5, high speed. To even further decrease the speed, I will decrease the voltage by 10 volts. It will start rotating at speed number 3. So according to the command given by me, the controller will produce the corresponding voltage and it will give as an input to the fan. Means input, this voltage is applied across the motor windings of the fan. So according to the applied voltage, it will either increase or decrease the fan speed. Now according to my command, the controller will produce how much voltage? 220 volts, which is applied across the windings of this system and windings of the fan motor, and it will produce a speed equal to 4. Okay, so while designing itself, the controller will have the complete knowledge of these fan parameters, and accordingly it will generate the input, so that it will follow, the output will follow your command. Okay, so a fan along with a regulator is a control system. Now, what is the problem with this type of structure? Means just a controller and a system. What is the problem with this type of system? So while manufacturing this product, the designer will design in such a way that the controller will have the complete knowledge about the system, that is the fan, and it will generate an output such a way that it will follow the command given by you. Means he will design, if you give a 230 volts, it has to rotate with speed 5. If you give 220 volts, it has to rotate at speed 4. 210, speed 3, like that. If it is 200 volts, it has to rotate at a speed 2, like that he will design the system initially. But after usage for some duration, this may happen. The dust particles may accumulate on the blades of the fan. So when a dust will accumulate on the blades of the fan, the speed of the fan may get reduced. So you have given a command for the fan to be rotate at number 4. The controller have the complete knowledge of the system and it will generate a voltage of 220 volts and give as an input to the fan. So to the applied 220 volts, it has to rotate at number 4 speed. But what happened here? Due to the accumulation of the dust particles on the fan blades, it will not rotate at speed of 4. It will rotate at a lesser speed than you have given. Okay, so the desired value is to rotate at speed 4, but it does not rotate at speed 4 due to accumulation of dust particles on the fan blades. Okay, or otherwise after some prolonged use, what happens is there might be some rusting inside the fan motor. So the windings got rusted. But the controller don't have the knowledge of this rusting of the fan windings. So while design, the controller know that if you give this much amount of voltage, it will rotate at this speed. But after usage, what happened? The fan motor got rusted. So even though you give, the controller follow your command and gave 220 volts to the fan, it does not rotate at speed 4. Means you are not able to control the output. Means you are not getting the desired output from the fan due to the ignorance present in the controller. The controller does not know what happened to the system. Okay, so whenever something happens to the system, means externally, that is accumulation of dust or the rusting of the motor windings or some problem with the capacitor inside this fan, you may not get the desired output because the controller doesn't have the knowledge about this system after usage. While designing it, it has. So if the parameter of the system is changed, it does not have any knowledge about it, but it will act as previously only. While designing how it has acted, in the same way it will act. But we are not able to produce the output. Okay, so the unwanted thing here happened inside the system is accumulation of dust and rusting of windings. We call such unwanted thing which happened to the system as disturbance. We call this as disturbance. The disturbance may be created within the system like rusting of the fan winding, or the disturbance may be created outside the system, external to the system. That is accumulation of dust on the fan blades. Okay, the disturbance may be created internally or externally. Okay, so the disturbance which is created inside this system or outside the system will not affect the controller action because the controller does not know about the disturbance which has occurred, and this disturbance is unavoidable. You can't avoid this disturbance, and it is random in nature. It may produce any type of disturbance to the system. So since it is ignorant about the disturbance created inside this system, the input which is given to the system from the controller may not make the output to be desired. Okay, so this is the problem with the system. So with this structure of the control system, you can't overcome the effect of disturbance. So disturbance is nothing but the unwanted signal which got added to the system, either internal to the system or external to the system. So if it is added internal to the system, the parameters of the system will get changed. While designing, you have designed the controller according to some parameters. After usage, what happens? The parameters of the system got changed. But the controller does not know about the change in the parameters. So what happens? So if you use the same controller to control the system, it may not produce the desired output. So this is the problem with this structure. So to overcome this problem, we go for a feedback. Okay. So this is the block diagram with the disturbance. So the unwanted signal that affects the system is called as disturbance. The disturbance may be created inside the system itself, or it may be created from externally. We classify them as internal disturbance or external disturbance. Even though it is internal or external disturbance, we will represent this disturbance with externally like this. Okay. So now our objective is, whenever a disturbance is present inside the system, affects the system parameters, the controller is ignorant about that and it will act according to a design previously when it is manufactured. So when it acts like that, what happens? You will not get the desired output here. Means you are not able to control the output of a system according to your requirements, according to your command. This is the problem with this structure. So to overcome this problem, what we will do is we give a feedback to the given structure. Feedback means you will use a sensor in order to measure the output. So a sensor will measure the output, and this output is being given as a feedback to the input. Okay, the output will be given as a feedback to the input. So here you are going to apply your command or the reference input which you want to be seen at the output. Okay, this reference input is applied in order to obtain the desired output. Okay, So the sensor will sense the actual output of a system. It may be desired or it may not be desired. It will sense the actual output of the system and fed back to the input. So here at the input, you will have a detector, we call it as an error detector, which is able to detect the difference between the actual output produced by the system and the actual output which you desire. Okay, the desired output means the reference input will be given in such a way that you will get the desired output. So it will compare the reference input with the actual output of a system and it will produce an error. Now the controller is not controlled by the reference input. Now the controller is controlled by the error between the reference input and the actual output of a system. Okay, so this error will act in such a way that the input will make the controller to act in such a way that the error input such a way that the controller will produce an output which is nothing but the input to the system such a way that the reaction to this output of a controller, the system will produce the desired output. So the actual output might be different from the desired output, but the error which is applied to the controller will make the controller to produce an output which is the input to the system, so that the system reacts to that input, okay, and it will act in such a way that the actual output will become equal to the desired output. Okay, so now the controller is able to take action on the presence of the disturbance. So for example, I want to rotate the speed of the fan at voltage at a speed 4. But due to accumulation of dust on the blades of the fan, even though you applied the command to rotate at speed 4, it is rotating at only speed 3. Okay. Now the sensor means which will measure the speed. Here the sensor to measure speed you can use a tachometer. So this tachometer will measure the output. So it will measure the output to be how much? Number 3, means the fan is rotating at speed 3. This will be compared with the reference input. The command you have given is to rotate at speed 4, but the actual output it is producing is speed 3. So this detector will find the difference between the reference input you have given and the actual output you are getting. And it will produce an error equal to 4 minus 3, which is equal to 1. So this error produced will be given as an input to the controller. So depending on the error, the controller will generate an output. Okay, so what will be the output? You have designed the controller such a way that if you give 230 volts, it has to rotate at speed 5. If you give 220 volts, it has to rotate at speed 4. If you give 210 volts, it has to rotate at speed 3 you have designed. But due to the disturbance, it is not doing that. Even though controller has given a voltage of 220 volts, it is producing a speed of only 3 due to the presence of this disturbance. So what now the controller should do? So there is a difference between the actual output and the desired output, which is given as an error to the, which is given as an input to the controller, that is error. So the controller will take a proper action now. So since the applied command is 4, I had generated 220 volts, but 220 volts is not sufficient to make the fan rotate at speed 4. So what it will do, it will try to increase the voltage, apply input voltage to the system. So what it will do, since I gave 220 volts but it is rotating at speed 3, so it will make a decision that I have to increase the input voltage. So what it will do, it will try to increase the input voltage to the system to 230 volts, means it will take some proper action such a way that the actual output will be same as the desired output. So when the input voltage has increased to 230 volts, even though in the presence of disturbance, now the motor will be able to produce a speed of 4. Okay, so if this structure is like this, the controller is able to overcome the effect of this disturbance. Whereas in the previous structure, the controller is ignorant about the disturbance and is not able to control the output. Whereas if you use a feedback structure, it is able to control the output according to your command in the presence of disturbance also. Okay, so according to the literature, a system without feedback, means the previous one, just a controller and system, is called as open loop control system. Now if you consider a feedback to the system in order to compare the actual output with the reference input, you use a feedback. If you use the feedback to the system, we call it as a closed loop control system. Okay, so just a controller and a system without feedback will not overcome the presence of disturbance, whereas if you use a feedback, you can overcome the disturbance created inside the system and the output will follow the command given by you. So this is the structure of the control system with feedback. So here you will apply the reference input or reference input, or you can call it as a command, so that you will get the desired output from the system. So when you apply this, due to the presence of the disturbance inside or external to the system, so according to our command, the controller will produce some output. We call it as actuating signal or manipulated signal or controlled signal. This produced output from the controller will be input to this system or plant, to which it reacts and try to produce the output. Now if there is no disturbance, no problem. The controller is designed without disturbance, so the controller, when you give the reference input, it will produce the desired output. But in the presence of disturbance, the parameters of the system will get changed. So as the parameters are being changed, the controller is ignorant about it and it is not able to produce the desired output according to your command. So what we will do to overcome this problem with this disturbance, we use a feedback. So feedback is the property of the system by which you are going to measure the output of a system and compare with the reference input in order to produce an error. The error which is produced will be given to the controller such a way that the controller will take a proper action, means it will produce an output such a way that the output of the system produced will be the desired output. Okay, so now you measure the output with the help of a feedback element or sensor and fed it back to the input. Here the error detector will try to compare the difference between the actual reference input command you have given and what is being produced at the output. If there is some error, this error will be given to the controller. So the controller will follow this error and produce an output such a way that the reaction of the output from the controller by the system will produce an output which is desired or wanted. Okay, so it will produce some desired output. So when the actual output of the system is same as the desired output, so the feedback element will measure this output and it will give as an input. Now if you observe, the error will become equal to 0 when the actual output is same as the desired output, because you give the command according to your command. If the controller has controlled the output, then the error between the actual output of a system to the desired output will be equal to 0. So in this way, you can overcome the presence of the disturbance inside the system, which is unavoidable. The disturbance is unavoidable and also it is random in nature. So according to the disturbance, by the use of feedback, you are able to control the output again. Okay. So instead of acting on your command, the controller will act on the error, okay, which you give as an input. Error is nothing but the difference between the actual output and the reference input which you have given. So according to the literature, you can classify the control systems into two types. So if the system has only a controller along with the system, we call it as open loop control system. So the system with this structure is not able to overcome the disturbance created inside the system. Okay, so this type of system is called as open loop control system. Means the controller is ignorant about the disturbance created by the disturbance created inside the system or external to the system. Means it is not able to take care of the disturbance. To overcome this problem, we go for a feedback. So with the help of a feedback, you are able to obtain the desired output in the presence of disturbance. So we call this type of system as closed loop control system or a control system with feedback. Okay. So we have now classified the control systems into two types. One is open loop control system, which has just a controller and a system. The output of the controller will be given as an input to the system. So according to that input, the system will react and try to produce the desired output. So the controller will follow your command. The controller will follow your command and produce an output which is the input to the system, so that you will get the desired output. So this type of system will be reliable only when there is no disturbance. But once the disturbance get added to the system, externally or internally, you are not able to get the desired output. Okay. So to do that, what we will do is we try to give a feedback to the system. So feedback will measure the output and compare it with the input and produce an error. The controller will act based on the error and produce an output such a way that the reaction of the system will produce the desired output. Okay, the actual output will be changed to the desired output due to the presence of feedback, and you are able to get the control over the output in the presence of disturbance also. So this is the two structures of the control system. So according to the requirement, either you will go for open loop control system or closed loop control system. Okay, so in the next class we will study few real-time applications of these control systems and classify them as open loop control systems and closed loop control systems. So now you have to remember these few points. If you are able to control the output of a system, we call it as a control system. So instead of giving the direct input to the system, we give a manipulated input to the system so that you will get the desired output. The manipulated input will be produced by the controller. The controller will act upon your command and will produce a manipulated input. Due to the manipulated input, you will get the output which you desire. We call it as a control system. So just a controller plus system is called as control system. So according to literature, we call such systems as open loop control system. So the problem with this open loop control system is whenever there is a disturbance created within the system itself or due to external environmental factors, what happens here is the parameters of the system will change. Since the parameters of the system changes, what happens? The controller doesn't have any idea of the change in parameters, means it does not know about the disturbance. And controller will not take proper action. So when the controller does not take proper action, what happens? You may not get the desired output. So to control the output of a system in the presence of disturbance, we go for a feedback element. So what the feedback element will do? It will try to measure the output and compare it with the reference input. If there is a difference between the actual output produced and the reference command you have given, then the error will be produced by the error detector. The error which is input to the controller will make the controller to produce an output such a way that you are able to make the actual output to be equal to the desired output. So in this way you can use two structures in order to control a system. Thank you.